I'm Josh.
Hi, I'm Miranda.
And I'm Hannah.
Welcome to Bow Talk.
And you guys have a time where maybe things weren't exactly perfect working with another vendor on a wedding day?
I feel like first I've had just some like teams as a whole, like photographers sometimes like either take the couple out to like do something separate and like not include me in that. Mm-hmm. And I know like sometimes it could be just something like quick that they thought of like, oh, like let's just go get this shot. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the couple who hired me would want me to get that shot too. Yeah. So I feel like working together would benefit everybody.
Mm-hmm. See, and actually I think that's like, I don't know, kind of like dirty a little bit. Yeah. So when I'm working with other vendors, you know, videographers, we're working together, right? It's like, oh, hey, we're going to go take portraits. Mm-hmm. You know, let's go head outside. And then I'm going to go find you real quick and be like, hey, let's head out. We're going to grab some photos, you know.
Or even you were like, oh, what do you think about this spot? What do you think? Like, we can work together and talk about it.
Like anything, though, like there's always going to be people that you vibe with more than others. Yeah. That's just like with anything.
Yeah. I would say, like, I don't know, I haven't really had a situation where it's like me and a vendor are like, we're working the same wedding and, you know, we're butting heads. Mm-hmm. But I did have a situation where I was actually second shooting for my friend. It was this last weekend or two. We were shooting and one of the groomsmen had a camera. It was the Ricoh GR3X, like little point and shoot camera. I have one. I use it for street photography or just capturing, you know, moments of my daughter. And so I started doing my flat lay, and you know, we're talking about cameras and stuff. And I think he was a real estate agent, but he takes his own photos of his listings. And so, you know, the conversation ended, and I just went back to work, started taking my photos, and then I noticed he's like, kind of like shooting over my shoulder a little bit and watching everything that I'm doing. And then he's like, I'm getting ready photos of the groom, like having him put his stuff on. And he's like right next to me. He's wanting to grab shots and like, getting in the way a little bit. And like, I'm trying to get more than just like one angle, you know, so I'm moving around and it was making it pretty difficult to shoot.
Is it in your contract that there can't be other cameras?
So, I mean, yeah, it's in my contract that you can't have another photographer. Uh-huh. But this wasn't my wedding. I was second shooting for a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really feel like it was my place to be able to be like, hey, man, like, can you let me work here? Like, you know, you got to put your camera away. Yeah. And then we were getting like a giant group photo of all the groomsmen. And he needed to get into the photo, right? So I asked him, hey, can you like get in the photo? And he was like, oh, hold on. No, hold on. I want to get this photo. And like went to take the photo. It's like, I'm about to get the photo. Why do you need to take the photo? It's going to be in the gallery, you know?
I've had that happen like a handful of times of like just people either taking photos, videos, like, but I think it's sweet if it's like a grandpa or something is like taking like videos on a little camcorder. Yeah. Like that is cute to me. Like, I don't care. But I've had people like even like entrances into the reception, like, guests with video cameras like standing directly in front of us as they're coming out, so like we can't even get the shot of them entering into the reception. So I've had that happen like a few times.
Yeah, no, I've had to tell people like camcorders or anything that's like super distracting. I had to be like, hey, you know, we do have a professional photographer and videographer here that will get this, because the videographers or photographers have been like, Miranda, like, who is that? Like, if there's like someone with a camera like shooting flash. And I don't think they mean anything of it. I also think it's like a generational thing where like 30 years ago, I feel like probably everyone showed up to their weddings and like was taking pictures. And now it's like, you know, now it's like unplugged ceremonies. Like, it's just so different. And I think it's like everyone just doesn't realize that. And it can be like more harmful than anything.
I feel like older people, I've seen it a few times where they like to bring a tablet.
Oh, yeah.
It's like huge and they're trying to get into like the center of the aisle to like grab a photo. It's like, you know, chill out.
Yeah, no, I've seen the tablet a few times.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like content creation, since it's like a newer thing, right? That, I don't know, I feel like more, you would probably, not necessarily bump heads, but I feel like more people would have an issue with you. Like I see it like in the wedding photography groups where
Yeah,
like people
I feel like
are,
I've seen some negative comments.
Yeah.
And I've seen like photographers and videographers post about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it's like fear of like them taking over their job, right?
Yeah. Which I feel like it's never would take over a photographer's job. Like that's like completely different. I see a tiny bit with like videographers because like we're shooting mostly video.
Yeah.
But it's like if somebody wants both, they're gonna hire both. Like I have a lot of weddings that hire me and a videographer.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just what the couple wants. Like I feel like if they don't hire a videographer, they just weren't gonna hire anybody.
Yeah.
But then they hire a content creator. It's not like I'm taking away from videographers, couples. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've even had like photographers say that, or like I've seen photographers like start adding on content creation.
Yeah. I've seen that too. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
adding it into their packages.
But it's like if they're doing both on a wedding day, it's like how can you be doing like both jobs to the best of your ability? You know?
Yeah.
Like, would you be able to do both? Do you think?
No, I wouldn't want to do both. And honestly, because like, so I was a videographer before I became a photographer. So at one point I was doing hybrid coverage. One, it was just a ton of work, too much gear. And then I just didn't feel like I was producing the best in either one that I could do. So that was at the point where I decided like, all right, I'm done with the whole hybrid thing and I'm just going to focus on photography itself. Have you ever had it to where the couple's thinking about hiring 2 vendors and, you know, maybe you reach out to one of the vendors and they don't like to work with that specific vendor?
yes, I've had that happen before. And I just say, okay, thank you for letting me know. And usually when you're working with a planner, like they'll just trust your judgment to pivot to another. When you hire couples or when couples hire you, are they ever like, oh, is there videographers you prefer?
Yeah.
And then
I haven't reached out and I don't know a ton of videographers, but like I have, I think 1 or 2 on my preferred vendor list. So I'll usually recommend them, or I'll try to find, like I'll just go on Instagram and try to find, you know, a style that I think would work good with photo. But I don't know, I feel like there's such a varying degree between videographers, almost more so than photographers, right? The really good videographers are way better than the videographers that I feel are like just starting out or just coming in and trying to learn.
Video is, I agree. Video is kind of like night and day.
Is it normal for vendors to like talk about pricing on a wedding day? Have you found?
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal. So like a lot of times if I have a second shooting for me or if I'm second shooting for another photographer, I almost feel like that's something that always comes up in conversation.
Okay. Because I feel like in the beginning when I was telling people my prices, they were like, oh, that's way too low. Because I feel like they were kind of comparing it to like photographer and videographers.
Yeah.
But it is something different. And in the beginning, that's what worked for me. And that's what I feel like justified my work for the day. But obviously, as my demand has grown, I've raised my prices. And I feel like now when I say it, they're like, oh, like that is higher, you know, than before. Or it's high in their eyes of like what I do. But like I said, I feel like I do have the demand. And also when I look at other content creators' prices, like it is similar.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard too because this is my job. This is how I make a living for myself. And I feel like some content creators that have come into the market recently are doing it more for like a hobby or, you know, they're like
then like it's going to be the main focus of like what they're doing.
Yes. Yeah. And they're like, they just want to do it for fun. So they're like, I'll do it for $50, like whatever. And not $50 actually. But they're like,
shit. Like, how are you going to survive?
Like, I'm so a lot of times I see it's like $200 or something and they're like just doing it for fun. But it's like, that's the work is going to show, you know what I mean? And if they're doing it for fun, that's great and amazing. But I'm doing this as my job. And I feel like you're going to get that out of my pricing and my work.
And I feel like that's a natural progression, right? Like I wasn't charging top dollar for photography when I first started.
Right.
Everyone has to get a start. You have to get your foot into the door and things will snowball from there in regards to you get better with what you're, you know, doing. But then also your prices increase because it will reflect your current work.
Yes.
But on the topic of money, I think it's a good time to jump into overspend, underspend. What do you guys think?
Let's talk about it.
All right. So the purpose of overspend, underspend is going to be where we will talk about certain vendors, what the average price is across the United States. But in our experience, do we feel that couples typically overspend or underspend on that?
Okay.
So the average spend in the United States, which honestly, when I Googled this, I felt like maybe it was wrong, but I'm sure it fluctuates depending on, if you're in a major city and where you're at in the United States. But the typical average cost of a wedding in the United States is anywhere from $33,000 to $36,000.
I feel like you would know more.
Yeah,
Like she has like
you would
the
know this,
whole
yeah.
scope of it.
I don't know where those numbers come from.
Google.
Google.
What do you think the average is?
My average spend in my company is around $50,000 to $170,000.
Yeah, see, I would feel like
So
170, that's pretty high. But I feel like for Rochester, for sure, I think 33 to 36 would be pretty low.
it really all depends on guest count, location. You can have a wedding for $30,000, absolutely, but
It's gonna look like trash.
no, it's not going to look like trash. But it kind of just depends on what your priorities are. But I would say when people come to me and they have like 150 people or more, I'm very transparent about the restrictions that are going to come with just what the cost of things are and inflation now.
I'm sure you have to do like a lot of
But it's kind of sad that that's like what's online, because I think that a lot of the time when I have to have like the budget talk, and that's obviously like the hardest part of the job, is because they've read so much misleading information ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think you're going to spend 30,000, what is it? 30 to 30,
33 to 36.
and then we talk and I'm like, no, we're going to spend 85,000. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than double.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to, sticker shock someone to that degree.
Me would be underspent because they don't even have videographers most of the time.
Yeah, I know that. I would say typically most weddings that I shoot, they don't have videographers either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But personally, I would say that I think couples underspend on it because like I'm in these groups where, people are trying to find vendors.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time it's like, oh, my wedding's in 2 weeks and now I'm thinking about getting a wedding videographer. So they don't have the biggest budget for one.
Yeah.
I would say
that's
my
true.
budgets range from 35 to 8,000 for video. So I would say,
You're supposed to say overspend or
like,
underspend.
I think it depends on what you're, but like, it just depends, on what they're looking for. I'm not going to, I think it depends on what the budget is. If the budget's 150, I would say they underspend on the video because they could spend more.
Like $1,500 or $150?
150,000.
On a video?
No, like on the wedding as a whole.
No, this is just the vendor only. So like wedding videographer, do you think your couples typically overspend when they get a wedding videographer or do they underspend when they get a wedding videographer?
With no pricing. Just
I feel like that's very controversial because it really depends.
Well, that's the point of the podcast.
I feel like it's not controversial.
I think they underspend.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I definitely think they underspend.
And I feel the same way.
Okay, go to the next one.
I wish people spent more money on this one, but I guess that gives my answer. Florals. What do you guys think?
Well, wait, come have some weddings with me this year, and you'll love the florals.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big advocate of the florals. I love floral.
Mm-hmm. No, me too. I think it helps. Like, the space looks so good.
Oh, absolutely. I think they would think they overspend.
Yeah, I'm sure people feel that way.
I think the clients always think they overspend because in the moment, and it's so beautiful, and then the photos or whatever. But I think a lot of people spend more money than they would like to. Yes, so I would say overspend.
Okay, so you think overspend? See, I think underspend, because for me, I feel over the last year or two, a really popular thing with florals has been kind of like a minimalist look to the
Which
flowers.
I think is beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I think is beautiful too.
But you have
But
to
maybe
think
I'm wrong.
But say if it's a calla lily, it might look very minimal. But the calla lilies are very expensive.
Like, I'm not even going to pretend that I know what a calla lily is.
But that minimal is usually expensive. That minimal could be just as expensive as the over the top.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like mine my weddings have been a lot less florals too. Like even like bouquets of like one singular flower.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot too, especially for the whole bridal party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to learn more about flowers, and depending on like which flower it is, could depict the price. But I feel like off of what I'm seeing and like the style of them, I would just assume that, you know, I would say underspend on them.
And I feel like they're not on the tables as much, I feel like, either.
Oh, you guys got to come to my wedding.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I feel the same exact way.
The
I don't feel like there's been like, I just don't feel like there's been like very intricate centerpieces. Not that.
Like more candles, right? Or not even?
I just feel like a few years ago, like even in our wedding we shot together, there was like these big old like centerpieces and stuff. And I feel like that hasn't been a focus for a lot of couples within the last couple of years, I would say, for the weddings at least I'm shooting.
Right.
For this next one, I feel like people overspend on it because I know it's just expensive to have, but sometimes it's just not that good. Food. Do you think couples overspend or underspend on their food?
I think that depends because food is very important to 80% of the couples. But I have a background in food and beverage, and the food is high. The food up to 300 person plus.
Yeah, I feel like even if the food's not good, they probably still overspent on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's up there.
Yeah,
I've noticed too a lot. Everything's a la carte now, rather than all in one price, all in 150, all in 200. It's like 200, then you add this, and it's this per person. So I also think that can really confuse people.
Yeah. What about you, Hannah? Do you think overspend, underspend?
I have like no realm of what that would even cost, but I would assume overspend because it's a lot of people to feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
But like you said, like they're overspending for nothing, like a dry piece of meat.
It's the fish for me. Just never go with the fish. I know I said that in the other episode, but it's
Dry
the worst.
meat, dry fish. And with that being said,
thank you for joining us on the Val Talk podcast. I'm Josh. You can find me on Instagram at Josh Reyes Photo. Miranda, where can they find you?
At MQ_events_. Follow me.
Hannah, where can they find you?
at Behind Your Wedding Day.
And remember, you can find us at valtalk.com for future episodes. But also, hey, you got a crazy story you want to tell us? Make sure to inquire through our website. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.